so blunt and abrupt when he delivers information to people, and I'm like, you gotta be, is the people pleaser in me, you gotta be nicer, you gotta say things in a nicer tone because people are tuning you out when you say it as bluntly as you are. And he's like, look man, these are the facts, this is just how I'm presenting them, it is what it is. But I have actually taken communication classes. Being a hairdresser, trying to up my sales, I had to learn how to talk to people differently and approach them differently to make them comfortable.
And you have to tailor it to the person, how they're going to accept the information.
So the one thing that I learned in this, I'm going to tie this into what Mike said about frequencies. The one thing that I learned was that everyone has a perfect pitch that is soothing to their ears. And what that means is, if I know what your perfect pitch is that just makes you soft and malleable, I can literally look at you and say, fuck off.
And you'd be like, yeah, girl.
And you're like, thank you. You know, because I hit the right decibel and the right frequency and the right pitch in your ears. Everybody has a different sweet spot, and I was trying to explain that to him because he was like, there you go with your people pleasing nature, and you're curtailing yourself to everybody. But I'm like, but if I want my message to be conveyed to the other person, then I got to figure out what the perfect dial is for that.
It goes back, you can say anything you want. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
That's how you say it.
Okay, so expanding on that. Have you ever met anybody, Mike? Have you met anybody that their energy just doesn't vibe with you?
Yes.
Yep.
It was me.
No,
It was me.
no. There are several people that frequent the establishment that I work in, and I have literally watched Mike walk in the door. He will say hi to me, give me a hug, but if there are certain people in the bar that I am at, he is over in the other bar. I'm going to go over here and
I
sit.
stay away from negative energy.
You're like me. I literally stay away from negative energy. And if people, there's just some people that their energy just rubs me the wrong way. And,
Yeah, but you don't think that happens to me too?
But the difference between me and you, I think, is that I will just walk away from you and won't talk to you ever again.
I mean, the only difference between me and you is that
So dramatic.
I will speak to them.
Am I though?
No, but the only difference between you and I is that I will speak to them and still never. I don't have to interact with them. I'll speak to them because I'll speak to any stranger on the street. So I'll speak to anybody. It doesn't mean a thing. I'll be like, hey, how you doing? And I'll keep it moving, and I'll be totally away from them as well. You may not notice it because I spoke to them, and if they're around my friends, like if somebody was in here that I didn't like, not us, but I mean like somebody else, you would have no idea that I couldn't stand that MF to the highest extent of not standing them.
Same.
All right, so I'm gonna give
But it
you.
doesn't mean that I don't like them.
I got
You'll
a story.
never know.
We're just in a
I got a story.
tangent now.
I got a story. Well, we're talking about energy. You
I
know
mean,
what
yeah,
I mean?
that's true.
I
And
got
we
a story.
are real energy.
I got a
We are a
story.
real energy podcast.
I got a story, and I want to get back to Mike on really what he does, but I have a story, and this kind of ties into what Tanya was just saying. Probably about maybe 5 years ago, I can't remember. So there's a place up in Fairfax, and one of the go-go bands were playing in that, and then we had there were a bunch of us, me, Ramon, a couple of other people. We were all hanging out at that place, right? And this dude, we're leaving, and this dude, like, I'm trying to remember. Everybody knows this guy, right? Apparently, I went to high school with him. I have no idea who he is. So I'm just trying to place him. You know, I'm not trying to be obvious about it, but I'm just trying to place him. You know, and he's saying hi to everybody. Yeah. And then he comes up to me, gives me, gives me dap. I give him dap. And then he's like, you're standoffish, huh? I'm like, and I just sat there. And when he said that, I just sat there and looked at him. I didn't answer. I just kind of stood there and looked at him. I was going to give him the MF. I have no idea who you are. I'm just trying to figure out who you are. But at that moment, I said to myself, I don't like your energy. And I'm just going to stare at you. So walk away from me because I don't like you. But it wasn't that I had bad energy with him. I was just trying to figure out who he was. But because he came at me with the bad energy, that made my energy and my neck, my hairs on my neck stand up. I'm like, oh, I don't like your energy. So when he said that to me, this was the stare I gave him. So he looked at me until he got uncomfortable and just walked away.
I think it's amazing how the body has such a physical reaction when it encounters bad energy. It really does. Your body has a physical, like if you pay attention to yourself, It really does have a physical reaction. Your muscles tensen up. The hairs on the back of your neck will stand up. I mean, those nervous guts, all of those things. It's just really interesting to me how certain energy will almost automatically manifest itself physically.
Emotions play a huge role in organs, and organs play a huge role in.
You think
energy.
people make themselves sick?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah,
Your nervous
So let's
system is
go-
all connected to.
Hold on,
your
let's
energy.
go back to yesterday. So let me tell you something that I just thought was brilliant. So I was telling him about my cancer last year, right? This is so brilliant to me. So I told him, I said, like, last year I had cancer. I had breast cancer, and I also had thyroid cancer. And so, we had already had we were having a conversation. And from our conversation, so he stops me. He's like, was your breast cancer on the right side? And I was like, so I'm thinking about it because, that's not like something I was like, so I'm like, yeah, it was. How'd you know that? Guess what he said? You want to know what he said? I'm going to tell you anyway. He said,
What did he say, Tanya?
thank you, Ron, for catching that. So he's like, I don't know exactly how he worded it, but I'm going to word it in my way. So basically, the right side of your body is your nurturing side, and either I needed nurturing or I was a nurturer. So the breast cancer manifested on that side, which makes perfect sense if anybody who knows me as a person. Doesn't that make perfect sense?
So did you need or were you given?
I don't know. I feel like I'm an over nurturer.
Mike?
That's for her to answer. I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that.
I'm definitely an over nurturer. I mean, I probably need a nurturing too, but I'm an over nurturer for sure. I mean, plus we were in COVID for 3 years or 2 years at that point. So maybe I probably needed nurturing too. But definitely during COVID, I was definitely an over nurturer ass all my neighbors because I was baking stuff for them all the time.
So how is Tanya going to heal if she's always worried about other people? Because your energy actually helps you heal, right? Because of your nervous system.
Well,
So-
the fact that I now know that I was over nurturing means I need to nurture Tanya instead of nurturing other people.
Exactly.
Oh, girl.
But then he also said-
I've been telling
Shut
you
up.
that.
We're not talking to you. It's not about you right now, Patrick.
I've been telling Tanya that.
And then he said, he spoke about my thyroid cancer, and mine was in the middle. And so the chakra, I don't know what it's called, but your throat chakra. So mine. I don't know where mine was on the actual thing, but if it's off, it's either because you're outspoken or underspoken. Well, my cancer was right in the center, so I think there were things that I needed to be outspoken about, and things that I wasn't speaking on, and things that I should have been. What am I trying to say? Some things I should have been outspoken about that I wasn't, and some things that I was outspoken on I shouldn't have been. So I think that's why it manifested itself in the center, because it couldn't figure out which way to go.
It's the communication center.
Yeah.
And then unless you can find the right balance in your communication.
It couldn't, but it was fighting itself.
Right.
Some things I needed to speak on that I didn't, and there were things that I were speaking on that I probably should just kept my mouth shut about.
I was very proud. I was actually very proud of Tanya taking this step. I thought when she said that she was going to do it, I said, and I told Stephanie this, is that the first part of healing is acknowledging that there's an issue.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And the fact that you said, there's something wrong, and you sought help is the first part of healing. And I am truly, I'm happy that you sought that help just as much as I'm happy that Stephanie sought that help.
I'm proud of both of them.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm proud.
Thank you.
I will say, not to take over, but I'm very proud of both of them. I love both of them. I mean, I just met you yesterday.
See?
We talked. Stephanie, we go back a few months. I mean, not an extended period of time.
Almost a year, Mike.
But has it really?
Almost a year. Yeah.
But their energy is beautiful, right? So this is one of the things I struggle with. They reached a point in their life where they wanted to move directions, go to another direction. I don't like using the word struggle again, but you understand where I'm coming from. They reached out, they accepted some assistance, and they opened up to me, right? And they do that. I mean, I can't tell you how humbling and how absolutely amazing that is for people to do. Where I struggle is the people that go the day-to-day life doing what they do. It seems like you have to hit rock bottom before you do anything. You know what? There's a lot of people out there that are they get up in the morning, they go to work, they come home, they watch the Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy,
Right.
and they go to bed. And that's their life. And you know what? If that's the life that they choose to have, rock on. You know what? I'm not here to judge. You do what you do, but there is an enormous amount of pleasure and love and knowledge that you are missing out on. You are missing out on.
And better TV if you're choosing Wheel of Fortune. Let's start with the real problem.
Fair enough. That's fair.
Because there's
I wanna
some
say
great
something.
TV.
I mean, there's a beautiful thing of breaking the monotony. in your
Mike does
routine.
not watch
There-
TV.
No.
This man does not watch
But
TV.
every now and then I watch Gaia. If you don't know Gaia, get it.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but we'll look for that.
It's
I
like
do.
a subscription base.
And like a wellness brand. They make
Yes.
yoga mats.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I know that GAIA. I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they have a channel.
So
Oh.
part of my message to Tanya when she texted me the other day, and she said it was Friday, she was going to meet you, and she was very excited about the journey, and I told her the main thing, you just want to be don't have any expectations, just be open
Yeah.
to the process.
Right.
Don't go in expecting something. Just be open to the process, whatever that process is. When I started my healing journey, it was years ago, 10, 12 years ago. And I said to, after a bad breakup, a lot of stuff, I've shared it on this podcast before. So I said to myself, part of what the analysis that I did for me, because I did on myself, is because I'm a very analytical person, is that what is the common denominator with everything that has happened in my life? And that common denominator was me. Relationships, family, everything. The common denominator was me. So I had to find out what was going on with me. And that's why I said I am so proud of what these two ladies and the journey that they embarked on to find inner happiness, inner peace, whatever it is. Everybody's journey is different,
Right.
And no two journeys are the same. So, if I would have known of Mike 10 years ago, I would have came to you, and my healing journey would have been a lot shorter.
Are you going to go to him now?
Oh, I'm going to go.
So let me say this first of all. Thank you, Pat, for acknowledging our beginning journeys of healing, as I'll say. But I do think that just kind of recapping what we were just saying, I do think that everybody has a different journey. But I think the first part of the journey is actually what you said earlier, which is you have to take a step to do something. And just like you were saying, Mike, that people are just sitting around, I have a lot of friends that I see or maybe hear them say they're basically living that life where they're just it's very mundane. Go to work, do these basic things, and and I understand when
Rinse
you have
and repeat.
Yeah, rinse and repeat. And it's fine when you have little small kids because you kind of have to have some sort of what's the word I'm looking for?
Consistency.
Yeah, consistency. Especially when they're small children. But as your kids get a little bit older and they're more self-sufficient, you have to. Everything in life has to have purpose, I think. And I think
you can have a routine and it be fulfilling.
Yeah, you can have a routine, but every routine, even if no matter what your routine is, your routine has to change with your purpose. And even like when your kid is 5, your purpose is different when they're 10, when they're 12, when they're 15. Everything has to change according to what's going on in your life.
Well, yeah, it's
You
an
can't have
evolution.
right, so you can't have the same purpose when they're 5 as they do when they're 18. Things have changed. So
Stagnation.
you have to evolve. And I feel like there's so many people, especially in our age group, that are not evolving in their life. And I'm going to tell you, honestly, it is the biggest pet peeve for me.
Why is it a pet peeve for you?
Because
That's their life.
it is their life. But the thing is, and me and Mike were talking about this yesterday, we're all energy, right? Your energy, we're all energy here. All of us are friends, right? Anything that happens in your life, even if it's not directly affecting me, it affects me. If something happens to you and you're upset, indirectly it's going to affect me.
Really?
Yeah, because you're my friend, and
Especially being an
energy.
empath.
Yeah, well, that too. But aside from that, energy needs energy, uses energy, has energy. We all are like reflect off of each other. Whether you want to or not. It just happens. We're all part of each other. We are involved in each other. We reside in each other.
So-
We're just part of each other all the time. Even if it's, like I said, reflectory or indirectly, it's just going to happen. whether we want it to or not.
Let me see if I can add something to that. So they will take. You're familiar with tuning forks?
Mm-hmm.
They can take a tuning fork, bang it, and get it going over here, and then have the exact same tuning fork tuned to the same frequency 25 feet away. The one 25 feet away, you can hear it just as much as you can hear this one. Not touching it. It's the frequency. It's the vibration. Now, if you have one that's tuned to a different frequency right next to it, you get nothing.
You know, one of the episodes that we had, we were talking about, you know, empaths not having, a boundary, right? So part of, I still struggle to understand empaths.
He doesn't understand.
Like,
He
I
understands it in theory, but not in practice.
Well, and that's okay. Let's go back to the lives, multiple lives. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you're not at a spot to understand it. So you never truly understand anything until you've been through it. And if you look, a lot of the people, the rich, the powerful, they have no empathy for people that don't have the same stuff that they have because they've never experienced being broke and
Being
living
hungry.
paycheck to paycheck
Yeah.
and living in any other type of environment. So they're not getting it. They're rock stars at what they're doing. They're making a lot of money. They're doing what they do. And you know what? Maybe they're past it. Maybe they need to pick up that memory again. Maybe they haven't had the memory again.
I think my misunderstanding or my lack of understanding on empaths is that I'm just not understanding why they choose to bring other people's
It's not a
problems.
choice.
It's not a choice.
It isn't.
No.
It's not a choice.
Do you think I want to absorb everybody's? Remember, I was just saying about energy.
It's a natural instinct.
Yeah, remember I was saying energy, how we're all connected. Like for Chris, for example. Chris is my cousin. I had no idea he was my cousin. I've known him since I was in the 6th grade. We've been friends forever. But there's always been a connection there because he's my cousin. I didn't know
Chris
that.
Phillips.
Yeah, Chris Phillips. He's my cousin. I didn't know that until DNA, but I've always been close to Chris, right? So energy always looks for energy. It just does, right? Think about it, right?
Energy attracts like
It-
energy.
it attracts. But even it attracts, right?
So are you saying empaths attract other empaths, or
We attract
or the
we-
opposite?
Whatever
we
energy
attract
they want.
Any
They want, yeah.
energy that's in the room, we're gonna attract. And you gotta think everything is energy. There's energy in this light, right? There's energy in this microphone. There's energy in this phone. We are attracting anything that has energy in it, which is everything. We will attract
So
it.
when you walk into a room, are you are you feeling the energy
Yes.
in that room?
I can walk
from-
into
from
a room,
everybody?
yes, and if there's a lot of bad energy, I have to walk out because it will literally drain me.
I think that's the difference between me not being an empath is that
But-
when I walk into a room, I don't feel that energy. I'm analyzing that energy.
Right, but
I'm figuring
it's-
out.
but it's similar.
Who I
Isn't that
want.
the same thing?
It's very similar.
Is it the same thing?
It's-
Because I'm not feeling it, but what I'm saying to myself is that okay,
Let me put it like
I don't
this.
like you.
You
I don't like.
No,
you
no,
can
but listen.
sense- you could sense
Yours
energy
is-
without absorbing it, right? Am I?
Yes, you can.
I think that's what
That's
you,
the
that-
difference.
Yeah, you
you're
hit on-
mentally analyzing it. It just physically how you're mentally analyzing it. Our body physically absorbs it.
I think that's what.
That's the difference.
So hang on 1 second. Maybe this will help a little bit. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic. You can look at somebody and you can see and you can sense what they are. We feel what
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
I'm
So
sorry.
I can feel when you're an asshole. That's basically what it is. I can feel when you're an asshole when I walk in the room.
I
And
apologize.
I don't like it.
You just
You look at him.
You
Yeah.
just literally hit that.
I
You feel
think
better
that
now?
there's-
You feel better now?
It's not that I feel better. It's
You
just
understand better?
I understand. I'm not going to say the plight, but I understand where empaths are coming from because you just made it clear for me is that I can see that energy
You see
and
their
I'm like
asshole.
I'm like
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay away from that. You're like, oh, I see that energy. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna go over there. Not necessarily go over there, but you're not gonna avoid it.
No.
There is no I'm going over there.
No.
It's just you're walking in and
And
you are not
it feels like somebody sucker punched you.
you are
with that
not
energy.
sensitive. You are not sensitive to
I cry.
others energy, right? Unless it's
When
specific
laughing.
people. Like, you're sensitive to my energy. You're sensitive to your mom, your brother, your sister. Like, you're sensitive to that because you allow yourself to be sensitive around those that are close to you. Anybody that is outside of that realm, you're not sensitive to whatsoever.
Right.
And as far as their energy is concerned, I don't have a choice. I'm sensitive to every single person that's sitting in here. I don't have a choice. So I'll give you guys an example.
Like you can't block that at all.
No. And I can
That's
tell you,
interesting to me.
Well, they block it by leaving.
Yeah.
Exactly. I block it by this. I work at the pub Sunday through Wednesday, right? Sunday, 13 hours. Monday, 13 hours. Tuesday, sometimes 16 hours. Wednesday, again with the 13
Straight?
hours. Yeah, absolutely.
pulling
Yeah,
doubles,
bartenders,
pulling
honey, you
doubles,
don't
yeah.
get a break when you
You get to
bartend.
pee.
Yeah,
If
that's
you're
about
lucky.
if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So sometimes Mike comes in and I get to go into the other room and sit down with him and hide for like 60 seconds before I got to run back to my bar. But by Thursday, you leave me alone on Thursday. Why?
Because you
You need a recharge.
I need a recharge. You know why I need a recharge?
around too much
Because
energy.
I have been around too many people, and I have regulars that want to hang out with me on my days off. I have a couple regulars that are constantly like, "Hey, let's go get a drink." I can't, like, and I love this person. I love talking to them. I love their energy. They are great people, but I need that break because if I don't, it is an emotional overload.
So she can take actions to block it, but she can't.
block it in
mentally
the
or
moment.
emotionally block it.
Get back up there. Yes, we can. We can block
Uh-oh.
So you're an empath too, Mike?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
it. And you've got some in you as
A
well.
little bit.
Yeah, I think
don't
he
you?
does, for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to tolerate me without it.
Yeah. Yeah. You can tell. It's actually kind of interesting because
I'll tell you the dynamic. I'm sorry, but the dynamic is he's an empath, she's an empath. We are not empaths.
right. I can tell. I knew you were. You know how I know? Your beard.
Oh yeah.
More times than not, anybody with facial hair
Except for Pat.
is going to be a kinesthetic.
And this is short right now too,
But-
because I just got it.
Most of the time.
Except Pat.
But that's just to clear that up real quick. So empaths, we are empaths, and to me, my goal in life is you give somebody empathy, right? So you give somebody empathy, and what happens with that? You absorb their energy, and it impacts you. However, when you can learn compassion, you can appreciate their energy, but you don't absorb it. So it's a process. And you know what? We're all getting there. We're all getting there. We're all getting there in different ways. But that's the path we're on. When we can finally reach to the path of, I mean, you look at Mother Teresa. You look at anybody like that, at Gandhi, or any of these wonderful people out there. They had love for absolutely everybody. But they didn't absorb all the information and all the negative energy that was around them.
It's not at
Instead-
your own expense. I think that's the difference.
Yeah,
There's a
it
lot
is.
of empaths, if they haven't like done the work, they get into the abusive relationship. They do all that because they can't help themselves, right? And so they can't draw that boundary. You can still be compassionate without being an empath.
Well, you
but
can't
have
do
that-
better until you know better.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and so that's the other part of it, right? So the other part of it is this is a visual world. I mean, I'm not going to put percentages on it because like 63% of all statistics are made up. So anyway,
You just made that up. You just made that up.
so I can't put a number on it, but most people in this world are visual or auditory, but primarily visual. So now imagine you are at a place where you are surrounded by visual people or auditory people, and you're a kinesthetic person. Nobody understands you. You've got nothing. You've got no guides. You have nothing to help push you in a direction, in the correct direction. Because if they're going to push you, they're going to push you in their direction. And they're not going to say, hey, you need to be a visual person. They're going to say, hey, you need to think like this. Change the way you think. And that just ain't going to happen.
Oh my God, can somebody call my dad? Please, no, seriously. I just had an argument with my dad about this.
I have a whole reflection about me and you working together. The first year of Patrick and I working together, we literally had this exact struggle. Kinetic, auditory. We had this exact struggle. He likes to he can give auditory direction and take it, and he's fine. You can say it to him once, he's good to go. He's like, yep, got it. Point A, B, C, D. He's good to go. He would call me every morning and give me verbal direction on what he wanted me to do for the day, and then I would call him back 10 minutes later, and I go, okay, now I did this, but what were the other three? And he's like, what is wrong with your memory? And it took months for me of months of little fights here, snarky comments there. Don't call me anymore. Text me everything you need, kind of those kind of things. But finally, I finally came to a place where I was able to explain to him what type of learner I was. And then he started to have like a small moment of, okay, now I get it. You need to see this. So I was like, please don't call me in the morning and tell me what you need done. Give me a text message. That way I can look at it and figure it out, you know. We struggled, but I think I just kind of saw this light bulb go off for you.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I am not a Neanderthal. I have strong opinions, but I am not rooted in my beliefs. I can move, but you're going to have to move me.
So you can typically tell, well, you can always tell what somebody is. Like I'm Stephanie saying, "Oh, I'm having a day." I'm like, I feel you, right? I'm using the word feel. I'm kinesthetic. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Visual. I hear you. Auditory. So as you go through your day, start paying attention to the way people talk.
That's
all of those.
interesting.
I'm all
That's
of
that's
those.
really interesting
It
that you
is.
broke it down that way. I don't think I've ever noticed that, but
That is a very,
I
very
feel like
good
I'm all
point.
three of those, though.
Yeah, you do. You do.
I am all three of those.
We all are.
No, but I think
some
I'm-
of them are just higher than others.
No, but I know me, like if I'm learning something, I am literally an audio-visual learner. Like when I was learning computer programming years ago, yes, I don't do that, but I needed to see it. If you talked about it and showed it to me, I could get it the first try. Like, you know, the teacher's talking and I'm doing it, I got it. I can
that's
do
really weird
COBOL and all
because
that stuff.
that's really weird because you can't do your videos. That's weird.
Exactly.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
So, Mike,
I still love you. I still love you.
we're gonna wrap up this this episode, but you opened my eyes today, brother, and I am very thankful that we were able to have you here because I had questions. You know, when she went and I was like, I don't know. Yeah, this is hippie shit, man.
So
What are you talking-
can I finish up with two
Yes.
things? I
Yeah.
just want to make
Yeah,
2
please,
points.
please,
and then,
please.
Good. So one of the things that people understand is hypnotherapy, hypnosis, right? They want to come. They want to quit smoking. Okay, one of the first things I'm going to ask is, why do you want to quit smoking? Oh, because my wife wants me to. Have a nice day. Can't help you.
Yeah.
Okay. The other part to that is I want to quit smoking, and what has traditionally been done. Okay, you're now in a great restful place. Tobacco tastes awful to you. You will feel sick when you have it, and it disgusts you. Wake up. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. The style that I use, I ask questions. I do not, I mean, Stephanie can speak to this. I do not lead in any direction whatsoever. You're where? Tell me what you see. Tell me what you feel. Tell me what you hear. And by the end of it, I'm not talking to the subconscious anymore. We've already done that through the past life. After that, I let the past life stay where it is, rest, do whatever it needs to do, go through what it has to go through. I then speak to the higher self. The higher self is where all the answers are. I mean, I can't say that I heal. I'm a guide, but so far, arthritis, instantly gone. Tendinitis, instantly gone. 20-year allergies, instantly gone. Phobias, fears, instantly gone. So when you can get in and talk to the higher self, and the fabulous thing about it, and you're going to witness this, you may or may not remember it, but I send you home with a recording. And when you listen to that recording, and you hear yourself telling yourself exactly the things that I've heard, that's where the healing begins.
I think that's a very good point to wrap this up because to our listeners that are thinking or having issues, and listen, this is another avenue and another tool in the tool chest to be able to help people. I am very, very proud of the journey that Stephanie has embarked on. Very, very proud of Tanya for the journey that they have, that she has embarked on. You had something, Tanya?
I just wanted to do a plug for Mike.
Yeah,
I was literally
going
getting
there.
ready to
Okay.
do the same thing.
Oh,
I
and
was going
also shout out to Dee Dee. That's his wife.
So, Mike, we're going to give you the floor. How can people contact you, reach out to you? I think you've explained a lot about what you do and the benefits of the things that you do.
Thank you. And thank you for having me on here. It's always fun to talk to people and maybe give answers or just pick up the energy. It's cool stuff. So to get in touch with me, I am in Morganton, Virginia, and we have a crystal shop there. It's called Energy of Being. Also got another domain, Healing Hypnotics, and that is where this part of it is going to come into play. So both companies are together, but Warrenton, Virginia, energyofbeing.com or healinghypnotics.com.
Haran, you got anything else, man? Because you're my resident hippie here.
I think all I can say is like kind of what like Mike said. Listen to your body and be mindful of what you put in your body.
Tay, with your space suit.
I just want to know if I'm an alien or not. That's all.
We're gonna talk about that.
We are in Warrenton, Virginia. It's Energy of Being, healinghypnotics.com.
We're gonna get you a session. Mike, real quick for our listeners. I know you can't spit prices out there, but typically, what are people looking at for a session?
It all depends, and honestly, I'm $375. I'll throw it out there right now. And for the session, you're going to look at anywhere between 4 and 6 hours. That's why the price is up there. And I've got a lot of different modalities, which includes the chakras and the energy fields and all that. It's about a half a day, but when you walk out, you have a lot more clarity than you ever thought possible.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Real Energy Podcast. We thank Mike for being with us today, Energy of Being in Warrenton, Virginia. He shed light on a lot of things. Guys, we try to serve purpose here on the Real Energy Podcast. Follow us on all of our socials. Look us up on YouTube at realenergy.com, Real Energy Podcast. Also, you can find all of our audio podcasts on all your podcast subscribers. Thank you. Peace.